Hello, welcome to the Guitar Gallery here at Andertons. Today we're going to be looking at some of the acoustic stuff around the corner because I've got an imaginary lottery ticket that's won me an imaginary £10,000. What can I buy for 10 grand?
10 grand. What does 10 grand get you in the acoustic guitar section? Let's go and have a look.
Right, let's see.
Different people, I guess, will have a different take on at what point does the price of a guitar start to plateau out in terms of, you know, the extra quality you get versus the cost of the guitar. And I think that's reflected in, you know, a D28 or a D18 or something like that. Typically, I think is where you get an amazing guitar and you still kind of feel like you can see what you're getting for the money.
Yeah, they're kind of benchmark guitars, really.
Yeah, so above that, definitely we're into the world of bling and small incremental quality differences for big price rises. But I almost think that's everything, right? You know, like why is a Rolls Royce £500,000 versus a BMW at 50,000? You know, it's not 10 times better. It's just there's just a lot of bling. Anyway, there are a couple of things.
Yeah, what we're getting the expensive end.
One is probably, you know, it's about as iconic as it gets in the guitar world. So if you really want top of the line Martin, you could go D-45.
It's a classic, and it has got all the bling, hasn't it?
It's got everything. It's got all the heritage, all the bling, all the best craftsmanship, all the character that you could ever want from a dreadnought guitar. I mean, it's 10 grand. You know, so it's sort of it's a little bit under 10 grand. Just enough money for you to buy yourself a year's supply of strings or something like that. So we're going to go and play that, and again, you can talk a little bit more about the heritage. There's
totally.
It
was designed to be showy. That's the point of it.
I mean, this is a statement piece, isn't it? This is not the guitar that you buy because you're trying to make a living playing clubs. No. This is when you've made it, or you've got your winning lottery ticket, whatever, and you just want the best. So that's the D45. And the other one, I'm going to have to dive into a little room here. This manufactured a little bit closer to these shores.
All right.
So Lowden, let's come back out into the light. This is top of the line Lowden. So this is their F series, sort of designates the shape. And this is the 50 series. So again, top of the line. 5 better than the 45, obviously. And we'll try this as well. You can go into the specs and stuff and play them. But I'm interested as well in when you shoot the video in your opinion around that kind of, at what point do you really stop seeing any real correlation between sort of price and quality? You know, at what point is it, at some point it's like, if it goes from £500 to £1,000, you would expect a reasonable, maybe not double, but you'd expect a reasonable jump up in quality. By the time you're at 5,000 to 10,000, you're not getting that same.
I guess, you're into kind of exclusive woods and all that.
Yeah, how bad do you want it type territory.
Exactly,
we could have, had we had the stock, you know, we could have been looking at some of the presentation Taylor stuff. Yeah. We could have been looking at some of the custom shop Gibson stuff. Yeah. You know, rightly or wrongly in these difficult times, we're still finding that the very high-end guitar market is probably as buoyant as it's ever been. Yeah. I know there's a lot of people out there that'll be, you know, will have found their household bills gone up by £200 or £300 a month recently, and those people will be going, oh, it's really going to impact on my ability to buy a guitar. But I guess if you're shopping for £10,000 guitars, then your household bills going up £200 or £300 a month probably isn't making a lot of difference. So yes, but we don't have any Taylors or Gibsons in that price bracket today, so we're just going to look at these two. But hopefully, with your imaginary lottery winnings, you'll find a guitar here that you fall in love with.
I think so. Very different guitars, obviously, in all sorts of ways. Yeah, this could be fun.
All right. See you soon. Look forward to seeing the video. Cheers, Ben.
Cool. Thank you. Hello, I'm back in the video room and I've got the first of these two guitars we just got from the guitar gallery. I mean, this is the Lowden F-50, as we said. It's got the African blackwood back and sides with a Sinker redwood mahogany top. And it's quite something, really. It's a fairly big guitar. I did a video a while back with Pete, and we talked about the Lowden range and everything. So there's a link to that below if you want to know more about Lowden as a company. But this guitar is their top of the line. So the F-50, F is the body shape and 50 just kind of designates the fact that this is their kind of flagship model from this range. We were trying to say what makes a guitar that costs this much money, and the answer generally with both these guitars is everything a little bit, or some things a little bit more than others. So as I mentioned, the woods on this one are, these are some fairly exclusive and hard to find tone woods. Sinker redwood, an African blackwood, premium kind of AAA grade, or however they grade wood, African blackwood back and sides. So actually getting hold of the wood to make the guitar is part of what makes it so expensive. As you would expect on any Lowden, or any Martin for that matter, the finish and the setup and everything is impeccable. Everything works as it should. Everything feels great. The intonation is fantastic. The work on them is great. And it's just, when you're getting into this price bracket, I think you're looking at every tiny little detail. So the elements in the binding here, which are quite hard to see on camera, I'm sure, but it's all so exact and so precise and so well done. It's just a real exquisite piece of craftsmanship, I guess. And to play it, it's a very rich sounding guitar. I mean, you heard, it's very different to the Martin. This is a very different beast to your traditional kind of dreadnought flat top. But it's a wonderful guitar. Lowdens are well known. A lot of people who use kind of non-standard tunings are Lowden players, people like Pierre Ben-Suzanne and Richard Thompson, guys like that who use kind of a lot of drop tuning. So I might just put this down into drop D or DADGAD and see how it fares like that. So just a little bit in DADGAD to see how it sounds in that kind of modal tuning. So it works really well for that kind of thing. Yeah, it's a beautiful guitar. Let's move on now though to the other guitar that we brought over, the classic Martin D-45. All right, so this is the second guitar we brought over from the guitar gallery. This is the Martin D-45 Reimagined. Now, the D-45, classic guitar, classic. This is a bit of Martin trivia for you. The first D-45 ever made was made for Gene Autry. He commissioned it. He basically went to Martin, from what I understand, and asked them to make the most blinged out, showy guitar they could, because as well as music, you know, show business, and this is a show business guitar. It's essentially, if you don't know much about the D-45, it's essentially the same kind of construction as a D-28. So in this case it's East Indian rosewood back and sides. Again, this is getting into the kind of more exclusive woods that you'll find on a guitar in this kind of price bracket. So East Indian rosewood back and sides, a Sitka spruce top, obviously the highest grade. And then to get into the reason why this costs so much, we need to start looking at the extras. It's very obvious, like I said, show business, right? So the binding on here is all shiny abalone, and it's beautiful. Everywhere they could squeeze a little bit of sparkle in, there is a little bit of sparkle. So it's in all of the binding, all the way around the neck here, all the way around the sound hole on the top of the string pegs. Pins, bridge pins, that's the word I'm after. That completely went out of my mind there. I love the neck on here. I love the fret markers. They're kind of, I wouldn't say they're understated, but they could have been gaudier, but I think they've just got in on the tasteful side of too much. The headstock on the logo is brilliant. I love the tuners. The binding on the center strip here, this kind of this pattern, it's wonderful. And also to play it, it does the thing that a Martin Dreadnought can do really well. I mean, and I know that the Dreadnoughts are it's probably the most common body shape of any guitar, electric or acoustic. So there's hundreds, if not thousands, of different Dreadnoughts that you can spend your money on. Martin made the first, you know, and the arguably most successful one, and it just has that sound. I'm going to do a bit of flat picking on this because it feels like I really should. So here we go. So, I mean, that's why this costs 10 grand. It doesn't actually cost 10 grand. The prices are coming. But that's why when you're trying to describe, incremental differences at guitars in this price bracket, it's a bit like trying to dance about cheese or something. You know, it's really hard to put into words what it is that it gives you. But it's the big grin that I had on my face when I finished playing there, really. So yeah, both these guitars are incredible. With my virtual lottery ticket that has got my virtual £10,000, I know which one I would spend my money on, and that is definitely this Martin. But that is my personal taste. And when you're getting into guitars like this, it's not that the Martin is better than the Lowden, it's just that they're very different. But they're both very good guitars, and it's just a real treat to get to play them. And I can't recommend highly enough that if you are looking for a kind of, well, any guitar, but particularly a high-end guitar, get to try and play one. Come to the guitar gallery and speak to the guys there and actually sit down and hold one and play it and see how it feels in your hands, because it's a treat, to be honest. to play these kind of things. It's a really nice thing to be able to do. So there we go. There's more details about the guitars down below. Don't forget to click like and subscribe and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, the Lowden F-50 with Sinker Redwood, African Blackwood. This is the Martin D-45, which I'm ever so slightly in love with now. And yeah, wonderful guitars. We'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching.